Yo, what is good, yo? It's your boy Ty, back here with another video, guys. Today I'm going to be first of all, talking about my global championship, how it went, how it all came about. Show you some clips, and then talk about which of the teams, which of the players, and my strategy, everything going into this 100K global championship. This was a long process. It wasn't like, okay, I qualified one weekend and I was there. No. It took me a lot, trust me when I say this, there were 8 qualifying weekends to qualify so it was kind of a 3-step tournament. So there's 3 separate tournaments. To qualify for the first, tournament, you had 8 different weekends in which you could qualify for that. And I qualified in the 7th weekend. So I was one of the final 8 to kind of qualify for that. And then the top 2 out of those 8. So, the top 2 out of those 8 qualifiers advanced the America's Regional Finals. So, I first had to qualify to make the final 8, or the first out of 3. And then the top 2 went on to the America Regional Finals. It's kind of complicated, but it was a long process to say the least. I probably spent over 100 hours just to get to the America Finals. So, it was a long process, but in those games, you could use whatever teams you wanted, and basically you only had to be good with 1 or 2 teams. And so, the America Regional Finals, not the Global Championship. So the America Regional Finals was for $15,000, which is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but there's 8 people in that, and the final 4 advanced to the Global Championship. So I went in with the mindset at regionals. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get to globals. My first 2 teams, the first round, I'm going to use whoever it takes. I want to get past the first round because I played greatness, and greatness is super, super good. So I came out with the Lakers. No, I came out with the 76ers, I think, because they were actually healthy at the time. Ended up winning, and then I came back with the Lakers. I won, ended up winning 2-0. Anyways, I already had clinched my spot in the global finals. And the big thing with that is I had the Bucks still left. In case I needed to use them in a game 3. But I had clinched my spot into the 100K Global Championship, and so the rest was just kind of for fun. I still wanted to obviously win. I still obviously wanted to win the tournament, but I knew I had the toughest road because I played Greatness first, then I played MosBallin. Probably the 2 toughest guys other than myself, in my opinion, there. So it was super, super tough. Side Money's also very, very good. Can't be overlooked because he ended up winning the thing. So, I mean, there was a lot of good guys there, but I had the toughest road. I played probably the 3 best guys back to back to back. But in the second round, this happened.
Bank on Anthony Davis going up with a contested layup to try to see.
I'm down 2. 0.7 on the clock. I'm like, I don't know. This game's over. This is to win the game. Landry Shamet gets it to go. Gets it to go, right? Official review goes on.
No way.
No way.
Is this happening?
We don't know if it's going to count.
Overturned?
All overturned.
Oh, it's overturned.
But they put the points on the board anyway, so we go into overtime, and I end up winning in overtime. The Clippers beat the Lakers in overtime. I advanced to the finals. But guys, when I got to the finals, the teams I had left were not very good. Side Money had a lot better teams than me. Ended up getting beat in 3 games. I think he was the healthy 76ers. I was the Celtics, and the Celtics in play now aren't very good. Anyways, I was unprepared going into this tournament because it was 1 week after the 250K tournament. So I really only practiced with 3 teams anyway because I just wanted to get out of the first round. So even though I lost to Side Money in the finals, that shot right there set the bracket up perfectly for me. So I ended up qualifying for the global finals. I wanted to obviously win the 15K. Lost to a very good player in Side Money. So he ended up winning that $15,000. But I really thought I felt like the bracket set up perfectly here for me because the thing is, so I ended up getting second in the America Finals, and then the Global Finals was 4 people from the Americas, and then I think it was 2 from APAC, like 2 from the Japan. 2 from Europe, 2 from APAC. I think I don't know exactly what it was, but the bracket set up pretty good for me. I thought because Side Money and MouseCry were both on the opposite side of me. And I felt like the bracket set up good for me in which I could have my best team still left in the finals. And so I was pretty confident going into the 100K. Knowing I lost 15K, but it was, the bracket was set up very, very well for me.
And neither of those went how I wanted to, but
got another opportunity to compete today. So just focus for today.
Focused. Okay, so tell me, how did you prep for this? It sounds like you're pretty confident.
I'm extremely confident. Going into last time, the 250K was the weekend before, so I really wanted to get to this point. So I only really practiced with 3 teams, and I've had 21 days or however long since then. And so I've practiced with 8 or 9 teams compared to 3 or 4. So I'm more confident with a variety of teams.
Okay.
And that was the biggest thing, because you guys got to realize I hadn't played Play Now since I qualified for this and back in like November. And so January 25th, I think, was the day of 250K. Lost that. I flew out to LA on like January 30th, January 29th. I don't know what it was, but such a short turnaround. I had 3 or 4 days to get right, and I really practiced with the Sixers, the Lakers, and the Bucks. That was it. Those were my top 3 teams I wanted to get out of the first round. Then after the first round, I had fun with it. Ended up sneaking out another win, but after this, I had a whole month to prepare. There was no more excuses, no more, I don't know how what to do if I have to use this team. I had 9 teams ready. I had 9 teams ready in case every game went to 3 games, or every series went to 3 games. But yeah, I was laser focused, locked in, and knew the bracket set up pretty well for me. Now, I don't actually have any clips from round 1 because for some reason I can't even get this past broadcast up, which is kind of pretty sad. So I had to scroll through and get all these clips up. But this is a round 2 game right here. But round 1, I ended up using the Raptors first round, getting a win with them. Then I came back and beat the Lakers. The guy I played first round, used the Lakers. I used the Nuggets, ended up getting a win off of that too. So I would say my 5th or 6th best team and my 6th or 7th best team. So I still had my top 4. That was my main goal, to keep my top 4. The Mavs were on the borderline of being 5. So I came out here with my 4th best team, the Rockets. And I think James Harden, I can't even see how many points he had, but I think he had close to 50 points, if I had to guess, 40 or at least 40. James Harden went crazy. And I will say, during this, I used the shot meter because most people didn't have quick draw and everything like that. But James Harden went absolutely crazy here to secure the first win in the second round.
It's going to be interesting to see just how both the guys down on 1, how are they going to end up bouncing back? It's just going to be the biggest story.
At this point, he had conceded, so it was,
Mouse Cry, he's in a worse situation out of anybody right now. Between him and Carlos, the Lakers and Bucks are gone. And the other team that he ended up using was Denver, so he still has some pretty good.
And did you hear that? Mouse Cry had already used the Lakers and the Bucks. Mouse Cry is who I played in the finals. So that's the thing. It's like Mouse Cry had used his top 2 teams. I hadn't even touched my top, my top 3. And it is important to note the Sixers were not usable in this tournament because of injuries and stuff. I don't remember who was out at the time, whether it was Embiid or Simmons, but one of those 2 were out, and so the Sixers were unusable, and so it was crazy, man.
So maybe we'll see the Clippers and the Mavericks out of him, one of those 2.
Could be. I would assume either maybe Clippers or Rockets will probably end up being the team that he ends up bringing out.
Rockets would be a great choice too, and
I didn't mean to take the 8-second violation there. I was talking to somebody. I don't even know what it was about, but. I felt bad about taking that 8-second violation, but yeah, the first game in this, I used the Rockets. Harden literally had probably 45, 50 points. Then the next game, I used the Mavs, and a lot of people with the Mavs cheesed with Boban. They cheesed with Boban. Mouse Cry, who I played in the finals, ended up doing that, but I went off with Luka. Luka probably had 35, 40 points as well, and really Harden and Luka led me to the global championship finals. Heading into the finals, I had the Lakers left, I had the Bucks left, and I had the Clippers left. Mouse Cry? I don't know. I don't know who he had left. He had the Mavericks left. But after that, I truly don't know. As you guys can see, Money's using the Bucks right now. I don't know who he had left either. So both Mouse Cry and Money had used the majority of the team. So at this point, I was confident. I wasn't like to the point where I was like, it wasn't a lock for sure because I still had to go out and compete, but I didn't care who won this game. I was in, they had like a lounge area that everybody could watch the games together. I was just in there sitting back, eating a snack, drinking some water. And this is a game 3, man. These guys are sweating, and they know right after this, they have to play me. So it was just kind of a blessed situation for me. But this is what happened at the end of their game 3.
Can't get it to go. got the lead in the ball, under a minute to play. Mouse Cry, here's the double team. Couple pump fakes so you don't get tied up. Leonard getting into the paint. Out to Patterson. Shot clock running down. Leonard again. Paul George on the cut. And he can't get it to go. 30 seconds left. Giannis, the Middleton. And he takes a jump shot.
Guys, this tournament is for $100,000.
Go. 30 seconds.
$100,000.
Giannis, the Middleton. And he takes a jump shot.
$100,000. Long story short, Mouse Cry ends up going on to beat Sia Money in a very close, very competitive series. So I have to play Mouse Cry once again. I didn't record any of game 1, but game 1, I was the higher seed. I got to choose my team first. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go out and strong. I need to get game 1. Need a game 1 win. And so I'm going to set the tone with my favorite team, the Los Angeles Lakers. I don't have anything recorded. He chose the Heat because he really didn't have a lot left. And he didn't want to use any of his, top remaining teams against my best team. So he, kind of didn't necessarily concede because it was still a decently close game. I think I ended up winning by 10, 15 points. But I ended up getting a big game 1 win. And then advancing into game 2 here.
Here of game 2. Scott and Dirk hanging out with you. I want to give a special shout out to those that have been watching us since the first game today. I mean, remember, Mouse Cry was in that first game. He beat Vardo, who was one of our favorites. And so we've seen a couple guys from Spain get bounced out. The Philippines.
So as you guys can see here, there's not going to be a lot to show here because I was pretty limited on the clips I had, but very close game in a clinching game. I need to get this game. I still got the Bucks left, and I got a lot of hey, why are you not choosing the Bucks? Well, here's the thing. I knew from Mouse Cry's point of view, from his side, the Dallas Mavericks were by far the best team he had left. It wasn't close. The Mavs were the best team he had left, and so I said to myself, even if I lose this game, I still got the Bucks left. I don't know who he would have had to be. He would have had to been like, I don't know, the Nuggets, the Raptors, some team that probably isn't as good as the Bucks. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try. I like the Clippers. The Clippers are still solid. But I'm going to see what I can do with the LA Clippers. And it was a very close, competitive game. Mouse Cry's a cheese ball. Boban, Porzingis combined for probably 50 points in the game. But this was a very close and competitive game through and through.
Sitting to go. It took him a whole lot of time.
Getting a little closer here to the end. I'm up 2 points coming down to the stretch. I mean, this was a very back and forth game. Zubac, trust me when I say this, Zubac carried me in this game. He had probably 16, 18 points all on mid-range jumpers because it's tough playing with the Clippers against a team like the Mavericks because I gotta keep Zubac in the game. He's my only rim protector that I have on the team. I can't go small and run Patrick Peterson. So Zubac had to play. But I shot more mid-range jumpers in this game than the rest of my 2K career. Kawhi, PG lived in the mid-range. Same thing with Zubac on the mid-range pop. This was a very tough game for me to win. I had a lot of different obstacles, but it was a very close and competitive game.
But he gets the bucket.
See, Boban is a perfect example. You don't need a high rating to be able to finish inside. It's all about the height and the length that you have.
Over to Zubac. Here's Morris. Back to Zubac.
Right there is a prime example of kind of my offense throughout the game. Boban is pretty slow, so I took advantage of him on defense. Put him in, a pick and mid-range pop with Zubac and whoever the ball handler was. 9 times out of 10. And guys, it was a very tough win.
He greens it.
I really think that's been a big difference maker. You never play anybody where you have to guard the pop to the mid-range. I
wish I could see how many points Zubac had there, but I'm guessing it was 16, 18 points. Can't really
It's always
see,
the pop
but
to the three,
he
and he's been able to
definitely
find
played
those
very,
sweet
very
spots
well.
to get the green light every single time.
Luka now, 4-point game. Coming up on a minute ago, and he turns it over.
With that steal right there, I started to feel it. I started to feel it coming. You know, as long as I don't rush any shots, get a couple decent possessions, don't give up any threes, I should win the game. Now, I wish I had more from this, because this is when, you know, it got kind of emotional for me, man. I still get, you know, the chills to this day just thinking about it, man. But this was kind of the moment right after the game in which I had clinched the win.
Done. He just became $100,000 richer, and you gotta love the sportsmanship.
I mean, again, this is the story that you love to see, and these guys have known each other for so long. I mean,
I've known Mousecraft forever, man. In 2K17, we used to play in my leagues. And, man, he's so good.
in your mind, you kind of sit there and say, I wish I wasn't playing somebody I've known for a while. But for them to go out in this fashion, at least you know it's one of your boys that ended up taking the prize and take.
And, like, still, if you just look at me and my facial expressions, it's just, like, emotions. Like, that's the best way I can describe it. Not necessarily, like, emotional, just so many different emotions, thoughts going through my head. Now, I wish I got all of this, but, you know, I couldn't find the exact clip for all of it, but
what
it was
a
an
game
absolute,
it has been, and Jackie is with the champ.
It was just an absolutely surreal experience. And shout out to my guy Isaac, you know, for hosting a watch party. So we're going to hop right over there. So if you hear some background noise, that's from Isaac's stream. But we get about 10 of the first seconds of kind of this before it cuts out. But you'll get kind of just a little bit of kind of what it was like.
Global champion Ty, how are you feeling? You look exhausted.
I'm relieved. And I don't know.
Let's go.
It's just all glory.
Man, relieved is the best way to say it. And I know I got cut off, but truly, man, all the glory does go to God, man. That's the best way I can put it. And my family supported me the whole way through. My parents actually flew out to LA with me. It was a surreal experience, man. I still get chills thinking about it to this day. But yeah, it's surreal. It's still to this day, that's the best way to describe it. Surreal. It's opened up so many different opportunities for me personally. And yeah, I still can't put it into words.
A great answer. Congratulations. I can see you're getting a little bit emotional here. All right, Ronnie2K has your trophy.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
My man. There you go.
Hold that thing up.
Oh, and don't even get me started. Hey, listen, don't get me started. When that thing went off, y'all know what I was thinking. I was like, oh no, not. Listen, that was scary. And they even told us it was going to happen, but it still shook me up pretty good. But this was, I'm speechless, man.
Well, there is your champ.
I'm prepping for the other one. I know there's something coming.
And this is a pretty cool moment too, man. So all 8 people, you know, that competed in this global championship, we're all super, you know, cool guys, supportive, man, and just humble. That's all. These guys were super humble. Came out and showed their support as well. So this was it was an extremely cool experience for everyone involved. You know, and that's kind of my 2K20 global championship run, my experience, all the clips. I spent probably 2 hours finding just those clips right there. I wish I had the video of it all, and maybe that's something I need to contact 2K directly about. But yeah, it was a super cool experience to go out to LA twice. You know, a lot of ups and downs throughout the 250K, not winning the initial 15K, and then coming back and winning the 100K global championship. But like I said, man, all the glory goes to God for just blessing me with, you know, the ability, the opportunities to even have the chance and experience to do this. So guys, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Just kind of me talking and showing you guys kind of the road to my global championship. Something I wanted to do for a while, but it took me a while to kind of figure out exactly how to do this because I didn't have that direct video. But like I said, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Drop a like on the video, comment your thoughts down below, guys. As always, thank you guys so much for your support. I love y'all, and have a blessed day.